My name is Kathy Nunez. I am a senior here at the U of A, and I am about to graduate from the College of Nursing in a week. I was in the Marine Corps from 2012 to 2020. I graduated right out of high school and went straight off to boot camp. I was a combat correspondent, so my job pretty much entailed of news storytelling. I interviewed folks, I told their stories, I wrote the stories, took their photos, and posted them up on the internet because paper wasn't really a thing at that point in time. So my experience is a little different. I was stationed originally at the Pentagon, where we had the official social media team, and from there I moved out into the fleet, and I went to Okinawa, Japan, served a couple years out there, and then came right back to Fort Meade, Maryland to serve as an instructor. So I had the opportunity, the great privilege and opportunity to mentor young Marines to finish up my career. Life was interesting when I left the military, first and foremost because it was 2020 and it was during the COVID era, so there was a lot of uncertainty. I knew in my heart that I wanted to come out and move to Tucson all the same because I was starting school that same fall period. So just in case school opened up and started for us, I wanted to be here and be present. But it was tough because that first year was primarily online. I moved out here and didn't know anyone aside from one person who actually worked here at the U of A's Vet Center at the time, and so it felt like starting from scratch. It was hard to build community when a lot of people were rather frightened to leave their homes and get sick, and so it took a lot of putting myself out there, which is something I'm thankful for learning in the Marine Corps, really, and really trying to tap into different communities and finding what worked for me. So it was tough in the sense of not feeling like I really had a place out here, especially being new and everything, but it was fulfilling in the sense that all the same it was new, and it was an open opportunity to take what I could and run with it. So now I'm here, 5 years of being in Tucson, finishing up my degree, and I have found several communities, the Vet Center included, and I'm really happy that I'm here. The goal was always to come back and get an education. I'm a first-generation American, and that was one thing that my parents hounded on us, me and my sisters. Graduate from high school, go get your college degree, go become something bigger and better than us, right? And so at the time when I graduated high school, I didn't feel like I had the means to financially put myself through college. And so the Marine Corps was an avenue for that. I really enjoyed it for what it was. I enjoyed what I did, but in the end, I found that it wasn't quite where I wanted to spend my time in serving people and serving our nation. I feel like taking nursing up as a calling is also in itself a service, right? So I decided to get out after 8 years and pursue my career in nursing. And Tucson, mostly, honestly, because first and foremost, I needed to get off the East Coast. I joined the Marine Corps to travel, and I ended up on the East Coast 6 out of my 8 years. So I wanted to go somewhere different. I had the wonderful opportunity of coming out to the U of A specifically for a program called the Warrior Scholar Project, which serves as an academic boot camp for veterans and military service members looking to pursue education. So I got to hang out here at this vet center, this very same vet center in 2019, and did a short academic boot camp of sorts for 2 weeks. And I don't know what it was about Tucson, but I fell in love with it. And I don't know what it was about the U of A, but everywhere else that I looked didn't have this same center and the way that they presented themselves as that community and a safe place to go to and just really connect with other veterans. And that was something that I decided I really wanted to look for, and the U of A provided 100%. I think I was actually I had to sit and think about this recently because I'm graduating, and I like to, as soon as I close a chapter, I like to look back and actively reflect on that time, right? And although that first year was tough, that next year that I had in person, like the Vet Center was here, they accepted me with open arms. I was hired on as a work study, so it was a place of work that I could go to without it really feeling like work all the same, because I was able to tap into that community feeling, that sense of belonging. I don't necessarily know the people outside of this door very well, but I know that we have rapport in the sense of the experiences we've had in the military, the fact that we are dealing with different challenges as far as going from that military mindset and lifestyle to being a student. Being a student has its own array of challenges, but we're also older and we just look at things a little differently in that sense. But the Vet Center for me has truly been a consistent factor in my experience throughout college and getting my degree. And if there's anything that I can definitely say is going through school has not been a consistent thing. Different classes, different coursework, different everything. But I always know that I can come here. There's always a smiling face at the front desk. There's always fresh coffee. There's always a place to come hang out, put my feet up if I really wanted to, and vent if I need to, or just laugh if I need to, cry if I need to even. So I feel like the Vet Center, as much as I wish I was able to tap more into that resource, I was busy and on a completely different campus to begin with, but this place has been the spot to come to and just really settle down. So the Vet Center itself has not helped me. There have been several resources that they have provided that I'm sure, again, I could have tapped into, but thankfully the College of Nursing does a really great job at doing like its own like resourcing and stuff for opportunities with jobs. But my goal is to graduate, pass my NCLEX first time so that I'm not doing it again, right? And just going and pursuing an exciting, fast-paced career in nursing. And as of right now, my first job is lined up to be at Northwest Medical Center in the emergency department, so I'm very excited for that. But the goal is to ultimately come back, work at the VA, and give back to my community of veterans. I feel like it's a very special community to work with, and it is interesting to see generationally how our patient population sifts through. But like on one hand, we look at the aging population in one way, but then with veterans, we look at the different eras that they've gone through in our history, right? We have our Vietnam veterans, and then going forward, once we start aging, we're going to start seeing the older population of everyone that went in the early 2000s after 9/11. So it's going to be an interesting process to watch that happen as a nurse, especially because, again, veterans are a very special population. And I like to jokingly and lovingly say, oh, it's the grumpy old guys over there, because that's what it is. But I also love to tap into the not grumpy side of them. And I know I have that. I know I have that in me. And I've seen it. I've done it. I had my last set of clinicals over there, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm here to give back. The biggest piece of advice, if you're a Marine, you might understand Semper Fi, always flexible. Just keep a flexible mindset. Life changes, everything changes, whether you want it to or not. And the biggest thing I feel that anyone can apply is don't fall in love with a plan. Have a plan, make good effort in following through, but with the Semper Fi aspect of it, just staying flexible with it, because that way you're not disappointing yourself, you're not feeling like you're disappointing yourself, and you're allowing for life to truly unfold the way that it does. We're presented with so many opportunities day to day, and it's so important to keep an open mind and an open heart to all of those opportunities and take them as they come. My musical favorites, I'm kind of all over the place. Lately I've been a lot into Lana Del Rey for some reason. I love listening to Elvis Presley. I'm Hispanic, so I like to listen to the more recent pop culture of Bad Bunny. But if I'm really gonna go back to like nostalgic years, which has also been lately, a little bit of Green Day, a little bit of Slipknot, a little bit of Avenged Sevenfold, a little bit of My Chemical Romance, like the early 2000s, like pop punk rock. That's where my jam is.